Okay, hello again, everybody. Warm welcome to a kick at the Balearics. I've gone really, I've gone way out this week. Got myself a little green screen, as you can see. Well, as you can see, it's not actually working that well, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, we've gone for it because I'm fed up with a wall behind me, and you have a nice picture of Ibiza behind you. So, what's with the glasses anyway?
I just want to say welcome to a very sunny Ibiza, mate. Morning.
Sunny or windy?
A little bit of both, mate. But no, it's a beautiful, fresh autumn day today, mate.
Welcome to a kick in the Balearics. It's myself and Martin. Makepeace look forward to what's happening in the Balearics in the way of football. We're looking at Real Mallorca, of course, in the Spanish La Liga Smart Bank, and we also look at our other teams, Akitb Balears and Poblense, also play in the Segunda B. And over in Ibiza, Martin's teams are Ibiza and Penya Deportiva. And then we also look at local football, of course, as well. We got a lot to get through this week. Now, I'm sporting this week my newly arrived Loch Ness FC football shirt that arrived courtesy of Loch Ness FC and my good friends at Pulse FM up in Scotland. And as you can see, if you look on it, it's that one, isn't it? If you look on the arms, there is the Loch Ness Monster is actually on. Very, very well done. And they've been inundated, I've been told, with shirts to be ordered. That's why I think I ordered this about 2 months ago. So and you're supporting some sort of a shirt there, Mark.
Yeah, I saw that you were going to put yours on, mate. So I put my Waltham Abbey CC shirt on today.
Waltham Abbey, okay. Well, it's near me actually at home.
Yeah, it is. So now I've got a good mate in Ibiza who is very active with the Waltham Abbey CC. So we did a little swap actually. I gave him an Ibiza Cricket Club shirt and he gave me a Waltham Abbey CC shirt. Now I'm not really a green person being a Rangers fan, but I'm going to wear it today just in case. So big shout out to Waltham Abbey CC. FC, but sorry boys.
So, let's get on. Let's start talking about Mallorca. A good 0-0 for Mallorca on last Sunday. It was away at Espanyol, everybody's favourites to go up. Of course, Espanyol managed by Mallorca's former manager, Vicente Moreno. And I just thought it was a great, battling defensive performance from Mallorca. It was a rubbish game, to be perfectly honest. Not many chances, but, it wasn't really in Mallorca's court to actually go for the win, They didn't do that well last year under Moreno away from home. They'd actually been poor under Moreno quite a lot, even in when they were in Segunda as well. So I thought it was a great result, a 0-0. And we said, look, don't lose two on the trot at the beginning of the season, and they didn't.
Well, we spoke about the radio on Wednesday, didn't we, Richie? And it's just a massive result, Richie. Honestly, if ever a boring, rubbish 0-0 was a good result, it was a good result because
I agree.
Scrap a point, get off the mark, 1 point on the board, next match, simple as that. And to do it at when he's tipped Espanyol to go straight back up, bounce back up to the La Liga. And they're my favourites to go up as well because, they're by far the strongest or richest club in the La Liga Smart Bank. So to get a point to go over there, get a point, come back, thank you very much, see you later. Next match.
I agree. And, defensively, they look solid. Go there and get a 0-0 and a point. A fantastic result. And the biggest problem Mallorca have right now is leading up to the transfer window, where their goals are going to come from. Because Budimir, who's the man we've been talking about ever since we started this, still hasn't moved. He's not played. He's not moved. He's actually not doing anything. In fact, he's training on his own right now.
That tells a story, Richie, doesn't it? He's going. There's some shenanigans going on there for sure. Budimir's on his way. We just don't know where he's going to and how much money. I think that's the only two things that we need to know. He's going for sure, Richie. So it's time to regroup and get another striker in.
Yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum for Mallorca, this, because obviously, if they decide that they are going to sell him, they're not giving themselves a lot of time to actually find themselves a replacement. First of all, it's Valladolid that are in for him. 4.5 million, I've been told, is the money they've put up. Mallorca are saying not enough. They want the release clause 15. I think we both feel it's going to be somewhere between 7 and 10 that they might.
I said 7. You said 10. Let's get it right.
Yeah, all right. Well, 10's nearer to 15, let's not go halves here. But interestingly enough, Marca, the Spanish newspaper, reported that Aston Villa and Sheffield United have been looking at Budimir as a possible replacement, or not replacement, but obviously a centre forward in the Premier League, which might be an interesting one. Obviously he's not tried in the English league. He played in the Italian league before, and he's played in La Liga. So who knows? I'm not quite sure he's a Premier League player myself. I've seen him play. Let's see. As I say, I think, look, whatever happens, if Budimir does go, it looks like he probably will. They need to find another one, because I really don't think that the two boys that they've got behind him, which is Abdon Pratt and Alex Alegria, they're not going to cut the mustard up front. I mean, we've played 2 games. Each of them have started. I think it was Alegria in the first game and Pratt's in the second game. We haven't scored yet. So they're going to need to find someone. And interestingly enough, I don't know if you see this, Mark, but so the Ultimate Aura, the Spanish newspaper, reporting that Rodado at Ibiza is someone they're looking at. I've been told.
I didn't hear that, but Rodado, I was looking at him last week, actually. His stats are very good. He came from Mallorca B, I believe, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Rodado. We're talking about Angel Rodado, who's the centre forward for UD Ibiza.
Yeah.
He's only a young lad, Richie. He's 23.
23, that's right.
And his stats are really, really good. I'll double check, but I think he started off at Mallorca B, and I think he was prolific for Mallorca B as well. So that actually wouldn't surprise me, because I actually think he's got real potential, Rodado has for Ibiza. I hope it's not true, because as you say, you can't go anywhere in any league without a prolific striker. That's why they go for the big bucks. That's why Budimir is going to go for probably 7 million or 10 million or whatever, because he scored. Did he get 15 goals last year? Was it, Richie?
13
goals last year. I mean, that's what's that? $500,000 a goal, is it? Whatever. That's what.
Yeah.
I think Rodado got 23 goals last year. I think so. I know it's Segunda B, but that would be very interesting. I mean, personally, I'd be happy for the kid, because that's a big move for him. But I think a striker is absolute must for Real Mallorca.
I totally agree, and you're right. Yes, he did come from Real Mallorca B team. Played 17 times, scored just 1 goal. And last year for UD played, I don't know if last year's, but he's been there a couple of years, isn't he? He's played 68 times, scored 23 goals in total. So, yeah, he's a scorer. Let's see, they're going to need to find someone else.
He's a really good he's one of these working centre forwards. He's not one of these prima donnas that waits up front, and just scores the goals. This is a guy who works very hard for his team. So, I think actually Rodado will go to a bigger club. I was hoping it would stay with Ibiza, but it wouldn't surprise me, mate. It'd be interesting to see how much they pay for him, though, because let's see what the value is.
Yeah, I'm funny enough. I do use a website to look at transfers and look at players' worth and how much they think he could go for. I'm just looking to see what his market value is right now, to be honest with you, as we're talking. We're looking at about, according to this particular site, we're only looking around about 300,000.
Yeah, I mean, I would say anything about $500,000, between $500,000 and $1 million, but it depends. UD won't want to sell him, yeah. Plus, they don't have to sell him because they've contracted there, and we've got a president who wants to do things. So, this could be, if correct. This is the first time I've heard it, Richie. Also, quite a good little snippet there. If that's true, then this could be a bit of a drama going forward.
Good. A bit of local rivalry. I'll send you the story.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't write the story, Richie, did you?
No, not me. No. But if I'd have known, I would have done, of course. But anyway,
this could be the story that breaks the kick in the Balearics to the national.
A couple of interesting stories from the game at the weekend, which there's a couple of things I didn't know too much about, but new protocols are that the players don't shower at the stadium. I didn't know this. So basically, the players come back into the dressing room, pick their stuff up, get back on the bus, get back to the hotel and have a shower at the hotel. That's what they did in Barcelona last week, obviously where Espanyol play. And also, big congratulations to Antonio Sanchez, 23-year-old midfield player, been at the club since the age of 12. He's been out on loan. He's played in Poblense. He's played at a place called Baracaldo. And also last year was at Mirandés. came on a sub last week, made his first team debut. Came off Alex Febas. And just, I think, from the age of 12, just goes to show hard work, patience. Sometimes it does work out for you. And there's big things expected from this boy. He's a 23-year-old midfield player, got a big engine apparently. And let's hope that is the case. And the other bit of information I just wanted to quickly tell you was that the Louis Sitjar Stadium, I don't know if you ever went to the Louis Sitjar, Martin, the old Mallorca Stadium.
Yeah, actually, I went to see Mallorca Hearts back in the day.
Right, okay, yeah.
You were there.
No, I didn't go. I didn't go to that game.
What we're talking, 98, 97?
Yeah, well, 99 was when they left, so it must have been, late 90s.
I also went to see Mallorca versus Barcelona there as well. So I've done my time at the Sitjar Stadium, mate.
Well, it was the old stadium, 75 years old last Wednesday, I think it was. And obviously the stadium, they moved to the new stadium, which was built for the youth, the World Youth Games at the time, the Student Games, World Student Games at the time. They moved to that stadium in 1999. The B team used to carry on playing there until 2007. And then the B team moved up to Mallorca's new training ground. And that was it for the stadium, unfortunately. And there was lots of, arguments, as there always are, in who's going to knock it down, who owns it, and all this. And eventually in 2014 they started to demolish it. In 2015, you can go there now. It's sort of overgrown and not great, but all the stands have gone now. But the actual gateway that used to go in at the front is still there.
Okay, I like that stadium. But it was right in the centre of Palma as well, wasn't it? So it was one of those old school grounds where you'd have a beer outside the ground in the middle of Palma and walk into the ground and.
That's right.
Invariably watch Real Mallorca lose.
No, we were good in those days. What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to think who was. I mean, in the late '90s, Mallorca were always in the Liga, weren't they? So So no, I'm joking. Obviously, I'm a Real Mallorca fan.
Before they went down 3 seasons ago, they were there. I think it was about 17, 18 years on the trot. They'd been in La Liga, so good pedigree. Let's move on. Then let's move to Ibiza now, Mark. Let's have a little chat about Udi Ibiza and also Penya Deportivo. They played each other, didn't they, last week?
They had a little friendly. I can't remember the score, mate. To be honest,
2-1.
I'm just 2-1. Yeah, I'm just looking now. Yeah, they played each other last week. That's it. Yeah. So I mean, interestingly enough, Udi, I think they're. The Radada, you just sort of thrown a spanner in the works there with Radada, but they seem to have got their, squad together. They still, Soriano, who's the sporting director there, is still saying that there's more signings to come. They're on a little. They play Wednesday, Thursday, and they're playing today at the moment as well. So you've got they played Murcia on Wednesday, beat them 2-0 away. They played El Ejido on Thursday, 0-0. And they're actually playing Murcia again today. But this is
UCAM Murcia, yeah.
Sorry, UCAM Murcia at the moment, and they're losing 2-1. We're just coming to the end of the game, so they're just losing 2-1. So, we talk about winning habits as well. So they're getting into a bit of a winning habit as well. So I just think they just want to get on with it, Richie, don't they? What are we? 3 weeks, still 3 weeks away, maybe 4 weeks away from starting in earnest. So
18th, so that's
October. So we need to get on with it as well. I think the big story out of Ibiza this week is Penya, because Penya, they overachieved last week. They played Villarreal. They lost against Villarreal B this week as well. So which is no disgrace really. But they've lost one of their main players this week, a guy called Fran Nunez, who was a Dominican international as well. So they've lost Nunez, and a good friend of mine who's on the coaching staff of Penya tells me this guy was the real deal. He was really, really highly thought of. He's gone to Manga the Honda. Now, I think Manga the Honda are spending big money, by the way, because they seem to be recruiting a lot of the best players from the Segunda B. So their scouts have been out. They're recruiting the big players. And Nunez has gone there, and that's a massive loss for Penya because international players at this level seem to be very hard to replace.
Okay. Talking of UCAM, that's who Atletico Baleares played last week, drew 0-0 in their latest friendly. They've signed a centre-back called Christian Perez. He's joined on a free transfer. He's played 162 games in Segunda B. He's played for Badajoz and Cornelia as well. And this weekend, which might be an interesting one that you'll probably know a little bit about, Udi Poblense will play CD Ibiza Islas Petusas. Is that how you pronounce them?
Yeah, they're a local side here in the Tercera. Again, a really highly thought of side. They're bankrolled by a local business person here. So they seem to attract good players. They were very lucky in the Tercera playoff last year. They got very close but fell at the final hurdle. This is another team that have got big plans ahead. Again, they are closely linked to UD Ibiza. What's happening in Ibiza, Richie? You've got the main teams like UD, you've got San Rafael, you've got Islas Petusas. They're all linked now. I don't know what the financial, whether it's just an agreement. They seem to have sharing players. They seem to be sharing sponsorships as well. So, is it good? I think it's very good for the island that we've got 2 or 3 teams that really mean business, but there's a few other teams that are feeling a little bit marginalised as well because, these teams seem to have big budgets where other teams don't. So, Islas Petusas, it's CD Ibiza basically, that's what you call them, CD Ibiza, Islas Petusas. Then maybe want to keep an eye on this season in our Tercera division roundup. Okay.
Let's get on to our local football then. I wanted to mention Marvin Park. I talked about this in my blog this week. Marvin Park, local lad, born in Mallorca, started his life playing youth football here. He started last at Ciutat de Palma. Then for some reason, and I haven't been able to find out why or how, he went over to Tranmere Rovers for 3 years, from the ages of 9 till 12. I don't know if it was something to do with his parents or whatever, but he went to play for Tranmere. Then he came back again, went back to Ciutat de Palma, also played for Atletico Rafal. He played for La Salle and also to Penya Arrabal. And then Real Madrid bought him, which is interesting. And last weekend, he came on as sub for Real Madrid in his first ever first team game, which is an absolute fantastic piece of news, not only for him, but of course for our island football as well.
Yeah, I know. Great story, Richie. I mean, we spoke about it again on Wednesday on the radio. Great story. I like Tranmere Rovers, by the way. I've got a real soft spot for them because I've seen them a couple of times. Prenton Park, great little ground on the Wirral. I've been there a couple of times. Great fans, real football people. Obviously hate all the other teams in the area. We'll skip over that. Mm-hmm. So Park's story to go via Tranmere as well. Also to play for those 3 big teams in Mallorca, which are, have got an amazing history. When we play any tournaments over everywhere, Penya Arrabal always seem to be there. Always seem to be there, yeah. And they're always strong. I remember the first time I saw Penya Arrabal play, I was blown away by the quality of their play. So they're obviously a very highly trained and motivated team.
Yeah.
And how old was he when he went to Real Madrid, Rich?
I don't know. He must have, because he was playing. I think he was playing juvenile, so I think he must have been around about 17, 18. It doesn't tell me here.
I mean, he must have been an unbelievable player of that standard to go to Madrid then, because to get scouted by Madrid at 17, because we've spoken about this before, haven't we, mate, where usually most of those players in Madrid are there from 8, 9, 10 years of age, because that's what the age that they go there. To go to Madrid at 17, he must be, or 16 or 15 even, he must be a late developer, if you pardon the expression, because that's massive. And then for him to actually get on the pitch, wow.
Yeah, and obviously, he's been playing under Raul, who is the Real Madrid B team, or Real Madrid Castilla, as it's called. He's been playing under him, and we talked about a couple of players that were from San Francisco who were in that Real Madrid Castilla team as well, who've been playing juvenile and also to Real Madrid B. So yeah, listen, it's a fantastic story, and it just gives. I think it gives a lot of hope and a lot of expectation for other players from these islands to actually make that step up, get that opportunity, and then once again it's down to this hard work and patience, really, isn't it? You never know. You could be one day playing for Penya Arrabal, the next day playing for Real Madrid. It's just a fantastic story.
For a 15-year-old boy to be playing in Mallorca, and then 2 or 3 years later to be on the bench or playing for Real Madrid is a fairy tale to come true for many youngsters. Talking of youngsters, Richie, what's happening with Luca Romero? Any news coming from?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't in the squad at the weekend. Obviously, I don't. Under the old coach had really pushed him. I think to sort of get minutes under his belt. Maybe he thought that he could get that. He could get those boots. But since then, he was part of the travelling group that went over to pre-season. But wasn't featured in the latest squad. There has been talk that, I heard this talk the other day, that other teams have been looking at him. Man United was mentioned actually by somebody last week at his age, because obviously he's still only 15.
I was going to say, let's put it into context here. He's still only 15 years of age.
Exactly, and I think obviously right now he can't actually sign a full pro contract. You know what I mean? At 15, he's still under sort of a youth contract until he turns 16, and then he can. Do you know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, I don't know when he turns 16, but as soon as that happens, Mallorca needs to be on their game and getting him signed up. But also, we've talked about this before about his nationality. I said he was the Mexican Messi. You said he was Argentinian, and apparently Spain are looking at him now as well.
Well, he will qualify for all three because he was born in Mexico to Argentinian parents, because his father was playing in Mexico at the time, football, and his father then came over to Formentera to play professional football for Formentera. So he actually qualifies for all three. So the Mexican Messi there as well. So he's he's 16 in November, mate. So he on the 18th of November he's 16. So I've seen this guy play. I saw him play when he was 12, 13, 14. No, well, actually it would be 11, 10 and 11, just when he played it. And he is exceptional, Richie. I think if he carries on like this, because we know that players can fall by the wayside, can't they? There's always a player. But Luca Romero, I actually think, I think you guys are fattening the pig there, mate, because I think if he can stay with you for a couple of years, then you might get tens of millions for this boy.
Just to update, actually, Mark, he was part of the squad actually at the weekend. He didn't come on, but he was part of the squad that went to. Yeah.
I mean, but even again, he's 15 years of age. To be on the bench at that age, at that level, because don't forget, we're talking about the second tier of Spanish football, which is similar to the UK, to the English Championship. For him to be in and around the first team at that age is just, it's mind blowing, really, mate. I mean, I've got 15-year-old son myself, and he can't even do his shoelaces up. So,
thank you for that.
No, I think he's listening here because he wants to lift in about 5 minutes, and so he'll be whinging at me for that one. So, Luca Romero, a bit like Marvin Park, a little bit like Asensio, a little bit like all these players coming through. We've got there's a kid, one of ours, I think he's at Gran Canaria now, who was at Las Palmas. We've got a couple of guys, one of our guys at Las Palmas as well, 17-year-old boy. So we've got real good Balearic youngsters coming through, which me for one excites me greatly.
Yeah, and talking of youngsters and everything else, so the Juvenil, the Division Honor, which is the biggest sort of division that you can play in as a youth football player here on the islands and across into mainland Spain as well. We've got 3 teams in Division Honor, obviously Real Mallorca. We've got Penya Arrabal, who we've talked about already, and where my 2 boys play is San Francisco. And they've got a team in the Division Honor. And they've not got it easy, because obviously this year what's happening, I think we explained this a bit last week, instead of having one big division of 20 teams this year, most age groups are going to have two subgroups of 10. Each team are going to play around about 18 games, and then depending on where you finish in the league, will depend on where you're going to move on to next. So Mallorca have got in their group Barcelona, Espanyol, Girona, Cornellà, Europa, Atletico Villacarlos, and CF Dam. So that's not going to be easy for those 3 teams of ours. Start on November the 1st. So not long to go, about 1 more month to go. They've all, obviously I'm more connected to CD San Francisco, so I do see them play quite a bit. They've been obviously gearing themselves up with friendlies and stuff like that. but they've got one more month to go before that all kicks off. And then the Federación, and that's the FFIB that's known here, the Federación de Fútbol Islas Baleares, have said that juvenil, cadete and infantil games will begin at the end of October. They'll once again be split into subgroups, as we say, 10 teams, each playing 18 games. Each team will play, this is an interesting one actually, each team will play each other back to back, which basically means a bit like a European tie if you want. So say for instance, my boys' team for San Francisco are playing your boys' team, SD Portmany. We play each other at home, and then we play each other away the second week. And then every team is going to have a week off. So if ever there was a little breakout of coronavirus in any, then it actually sort of, it's a little bit of a, you can actually try and trace it back just to those two teams, rather than in those 3 weeks, you could well have played 3 or 4 different games. Do you know what I mean?
Back to back gives you, it's like a game of chess, Rich, isn't it? You have a chance to have a look at them,
yeah.
See these players, and you play the next game straight away. You can form a plan straight away. So that actually, for me, just brings a whole different dimension into the planning and the tactical approach to the game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm probably like you, Mark, right now. I just want the boys to start playing football again. You know, they're chomping at the bit. You know, my boy's been training 3 weeks now. My eldest, my youngest started goalkeeper training last Wednesday. He'll start full training again next week with his team. The big unfortunate thing about Alevin, Benjamin and Pre-Benjamin, at the moment, the FFIB have said that they won't start until January 2021, which I think is a real shame. Unless these things improve, and if the things improve, that's obviously the medical advice that they're getting. If the medical advice improves, then hopefully they might be able to start before Christmas. But that's what we're hearing right now, is that they're not going to start until January 2021.
Yeah, I mean, my youngest son Danny, he's a goalkeeper, of course, for Portmany. He had a game in the week. They played an interclub game. So things are starting, Richie. You know, we're moving in the right direction. We just don't want any setbacks.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's important. We all know what's going on, not just here in the islands. It's going on all over the world right now. But you know, we all say that for the heart, for the mind, for the physicality, the mentality, the sociability, football is a really, really big thing, and it affects a lot of people's lives, whether you like it or not. And you know, I think it's important that we can get it going, particularly for our kids. You know. Whilst you and me, Mark, are well past our sell-by date regarding football.
Richie, there's always one good season left, pal.
Mate, I played you 20 years ago. You gone then. You gone, mate. You gone.
My knees went at 17, Richie.
I'm not surprised. Having to carry that about. Anyway, my hips aren't doing too well right now either. But anyway, it's great. It's great. That's about it, Mark. I think we covered pretty much everything in double quick time today.
What's Mallorca? Who are Mallorca playing this weekend?
Sabadell. They're playing Sabadell, whichever way you want to pronounce it. It's Sunday at 4:00 behind closed doors, unfortunately, still. But it's a game I think Mallorca can win. They've only played one game, Sabadell. They lost it, so no points yet. Mallorca obviously got 1 point from 2. Let's see. Let's hope that they can start putting the old ball in the onion bag, Mark. That's what we need to get. Excuse me.
Prediction?
I think we'll win 2-0.
Yeah, I reckon Mallorca are going to win this 1-0.
Yeah, you're probably right. Actually, well, I don't know why I win 2, but anyway, you know.
A stabby goal in the 75th.
That'll do, mate. I'll be happy with that. 3 points is what we need this weekend.
Okay, Rich, always a pleasure, mate. Great to see you.
Yeah, just a reminder, don't forget to follow us on all those social media. Akitb Balearics is also obviously on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. And this will be downloaded today, I think, Mark. You'll be, all good.
Sometime today, it will be online.
All right, take care, everybody. We'll speak to you next week.